All right, call to order, Wednesday, September 22nd, 2025, Planning Commission meeting. Roll call, please. Rod Anders.
Present.
Jared Bachman. Absent. Bill Warner.
Here.
Randall Ryder.
Present.
Great. Candace Collins.
Here.
Tim Cesario.
Here.
And Tim Zeiss here. Thank you. All right, item number 3 is approval of August 20, 2025 meeting minutes. I'll take a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second. In a second, motion by Tim and second by Bill, was it?
Yep.
Yep. Any comments, corrections, or changes? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great, we'll move on to item number 4. This is not a public hearing, this is an actual comprehensive plan review by the Planning Commission and possible recommendations of the 2025 comprehensive plan. So, how we're going to tackle this? You know, I've had a conversation with our attorney last time, and he suggested, I agree with too, and we were talking with Gina, that we're not gonna go through this whole packet verbatim. I just think there's a lot of good information that this group has done to this point. I can tell you, though, that I've had several people submit just comments. See all this?
Wow.
Yeah, by email comments. And what they're really doing is just basically adding more meat to some of the details in here. And Gina can comment too on that. But, I mean, for instance, right off the bat, when they talk about the location, this really dives into the bisexual state trunk of Highway 35, Interstate 94, approximately 1.8 miles, gets deeper into it. That's the type of things they added to it. Just more data, more meat to what the plan itself, what they provided. And I would say the majority of it is that. Some of it's way overboard, I think, as far as what they did. But I give them credit, these people, they put time into it, and that's all it is. And I think I could sit down with Gina, we could look at that, being that, you know, it's.
I would suggest that we take those as friendly amendments.
I agree, totally agree with you. And I don't know if we need to vote on that, to be honest with you. I think we just move forward on that plan itself, in that section, and we just touch it. There are some sensitive things that I think we could probably talk about. Obviously, one of them I want to talk about is, right off the bat, is the actual mission statement, or the vision of this overall comp plan. Gina has it up there on the board. I think that's important because in my line of work and having worked in a municipality for 10 years and having working for government for almost 20, it starts right there with the vision statement.
You survived.
And I survived. I'm still working though, unfortunately. But I mean, that's the key, is the vision. And I think what they established, I mean, we could definitely comment on that, but that sets, you know, the whole plan itself, my feeling. I went through probably 7 or 8 different comp plans outside the county. I went to the one that I used to work with, and then that municipality, and then I went to a couple of them on the eastern side of Wisconsin. I found some really good ones, to be honest with you. This is good, but I found some really good ones. I mean, I thought it was something to really look at and go forward. So I guess my comment right off the bat is the mission statement. Do we feel this is appropriate? And what we're trying to accomplish here with this overall 2025 comp plan. And if anyone has any comments or not, and I can, as the chair, I can lean on Gina to have any comments, being the fact that she is our village administrator. But,
Mr. Chair, I have an inquiry.
Yep.
What is our goal here tonight as this body? What are we going to do?
Good question. The goal really is to eventually recommendations or changes or any updates to the plan.
Okay.
Now, we talked about some of the submissions that I had here that you just mentioned, you know.
Right.
But otherwise, we're gonna look at some of the other things within this plan. I don't feel like going through it in detail. The ultimate goal is to provide, as the actual statement says, you know, review and possible recommendation to the village board.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually make a motion.
Okay.
Procedurally, we should have a motion and then discuss the motion.
totally agree with you.
Rather than have discussion and then come up with a
I
motion.
totally agree with you. That's part of my procedure. I totally agree
Yeah.
with it, yep. So, I mean, so the motion I'm gonna suggest is what direction you wanna go with it. So I leave you up for that.
I guess the motion is pretty simple, that the planning commission submits to the board of trustees, with its approval, the comprehensive plan for 2025, period. And they act on it, but we're just submitting, we're transferring it.
Or
we look at
transfer
it,
it.
we say, okay,
Okay,
yeah, that's the intent.
okay, any second on that?
I'll second it. Just one, we can only recommend it. We can't approve anything.
Right,
Yeah,
We
we'll-
can only recommend.
we're only recommending.
Our activity tonight, or when, if we can't get it tonight, is to recommend
Right,
the plan.
yeah.
Yep. You have a second by
I'll
Tim?
second it.
Okay. Any more discussion on that proposal?
I think just to clarify too, Randall, one of the things that we were talking about is that I think what's really important for this group to understand the goals, objectives, and strategies. Because the chapters are great, and it's the data, right? And then what are we doing with that data is the implementation section. So I, as the administrator, would love for you guys to say, the goals and objectives and strategies that are in there make sense, they're logical, they're achievable, they're, all of those great things that a goal should be before you recommend it up. And I think that's why, starting with the vision, then the goals should align to the vision. The vision should align to the comp survey, to the surveys. And then to me, that's where the rubber meets the road, is that implementation aspect. And I want you guys to feel comfortable that that part is solid. Because I think, to Tim's point, the chapters are great, and it's the data, so it's data, right? There's nothing to, it's just, this is where the village is, and this is the median income, and this is the median age. The meat is in the goals and objectives.
Okay. Any more comments on Randall's?
Since we have someone from the public here, do we need to open a public hearing?
No, we've already had that,
Okay,
so we don't have a public hearing. I can, as the chair, ask for comments
okay,
if we have open questions, and that person from the public might have,
okay.
an answer to it, but ultimately, as I talked to Paul, I said, we've already had the actual, public hearing.
Okay.
That was back in August on the 20th one, so this is just us discussing, and eventually recommending.
So, Chair, Zeiss, can I do a quick read of what a vision statement should be for those of us who haven't maybe done a vision statement in a while?
Yep,
And then, so a vision statement is a brief, future-oriented declaration of an organization's long-term aspirations and what success looks like for that company or village. So brief, future-oriented, long-term aspiration and success. Think of those things as we're building this. Go ahead.
The changes that you had recommended and then going through looked like the revisions were made from what I had
I
read.
made that comment.
For some of them.
For
yeah.
some of them, you're right, Bill, because I noticed there's a question mark. If you went online, you can actually see a question mark and the change that are actually updated.
Yeah.
Yep, good point.
My question is relative to goals and objectives. Were you still not on board with how things are stated presently in the plan, that you feel that there's more work that needs to be done as having good alignment for clear understanding and direction?
I think that's a great question. I think they are improved, but I do think there's a little bit more tweaking that I think should be done. And examples, and what we can kind of look at them is, there's some strategies that are within a goal that to me make more sense in a different section. And a lot of strategies are replicated across sections, and I just think that becomes harder to manage. So for instance, if we had a goal around replacing the carpet, we only need that goal of replacing the carpet in one of the sections. We shouldn't have it throughout.
Exactly.
I saw that in some areas as far as cleanup.
Yeah, so that's where I would kind of
Yeah.
say I think it's still a little unclear.
And we're still discussing, and again, and I agree, that's the type of things, we got comments from people that I talked about in this large
Yeah.
pack, Bill.
Right.
Just cleaning up some of that stuff.
I guess I would just say that if we move forward with recommendation as amended and revised, we can always leave it up to admin for further revision and recommendations on to trustees, and look at some functionality there and clean up. I don't know if that has to be done at that level of detail with this group.
I would certainly want you to feel comfortable that any changes that have been made post you seeing it, you're good with them going to the board.
Well, if it's redundancy issues,
True.
I feel confident that we've covered them. It's just a matter of if they were overstated,
Yeah.
where it was a cleanup as far as redundancy. It's another thing if you feel the direction has missed the mark, and those things that we need to take
agreed.
issue with as
I
far
agree.
as direction. But in general, if the major points are there at least, and it's a matter of trying to clean up the final version, are we comfortable? And would you be comfortable?
I think we'll see how tonight goes. So, again, there's a couple of, goals that I think are loftier than even 10 years can bring forward.
Sure.
So when I read that, I go, okay, long-term aspiration, that fits. Are there other things, though, that we're not putting on the plan because of that big goal out there that maybe should be considered?
Okay. Well, do we want to hold our recommendation and second, and go through the actual points in more detail? Or do you
Well-
just want to move forward with your,
I think your motion kind of sets us up to do that. You agree or no? That's his motion, really, to us to have the
Okay.
step through it.
okay,
That's right, my feeling, I feel the
Yep.
motion is there. So, a good, quick question, but I think that's exactly, and that's normally what you
That
do.
was
You
your
set the,
intent?
you set the emotion, you have it, you know, and then you start having the discussion. This is all discussion now.
okay,
So basically-
all right, great.
So why don't we just start with this right here then?
So Gina, go
Say-
back and you wanna read yours again, if you don't mind, what you talked about, I mean, your vision?
So the description of a vision statement?
Yeah.
Yep, so a brief, future-oriented declaration of an organization's long-term aspiration and what success looks like for that organization.
Okay, so it's not specifically talking, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, yep, so that's kind of how we should be framing this vision statement. So just off the cuff, one could say that is not brief.
So the one that I read, here's how simple theirs is. Planning an orderly, open approach to determine local needs, setting goals and priorities, and developing a guide for action. That's it. That's all they had. That was that one that I said that was really good. I mean, and everything just fell in place after that. And they started listing out the different categories. This, I agree, I mean, I definitely see they put some thought into this, but I think it gets sometimes too detailed there. I mean, it's calling out more detailed like actions that
Water quality, natural beauty aren't part of the,
goal, I mean, the vision is setting a guidance and determining, you know, and goals and priorities, but they're actually putting the priorities in there, in that section. I just think that should be simplified a little. And broader. Now, I don't know, to be honest with you, if we can all decide tonight on that statement, but I think we should potentially kind of, but you made a comment, is that we're not changing, I don't wanna say it, I think we should just probably lean back on her to say, okay, maybe we could potentially update the vision, yet not,
I think if we can clean it up here and vote on it as a group,
I would like that.
then
I would like
We're-
that, though, yeah.
we're better off than having another meeting just to do
Oh,
the
yeah,
same thing.
yeah. I
So
like
as a,
that.
as a working session, if you guys each went through and said, what are the 3 words in here that you think are the most impactful?
Right.
That
Don't
might
you
help.
feel like your
drive.
mission statement should ultimately reflect some of the topics within your plan?
I think when you set the goals and the priorities, it'll all fall in the plan later on through it, because you got overall goals that come into it later on, but the initial mission statement just as a overall umbrella, a general statement of what you're planning on doing here.
And I do want to clarify, I'm going to scroll up real quick, so okay. So it is to provide the guidance for the comprehensive plan, not necessarily the vision of the village. That's a good clarification.
Right.
When you said that, I paused for a moment, and I thought, well, that doesn't support what we want the village to be, but guidance for the comp plan in the form of a broad overriding theme.
so actually, some of this vision is the goals,
Right,
right?
right.
So we need to, for lack of a better term, neuter the vision scope.
So Tim, what was that one then, now with, sorry, it took me a second to process
I'll just say
that.
again, they said,
Yeah.
it was simple as planning an orderly, open approach to determine local needs, setting goals and priorities, and developing a guide for action. And then it references the Wisconsin State 66-101, you know. Simple as basically saying, the plan is just setting the goals and the priorities and developing a guide for action. And then everything else follows underneath that. And then they provided details, and then they start getting into the individual areas, your housing, your transportation, utilities, and those are all the different priorities that are listed underneath them.
I would say that I do like a shorter, more succinct vision statement. To me, this vision statement, these are a lot of things that we can't really control or
Agree with you.
provide. Do you know what I mean? Like residents have to sort of do some of these things on their own. And I don't know that that's a village vision statement. Some of that, you know, to know their neighbors or engage in community. I mean, we can't really do that for them. And I don't know that should be our goal. Do you know what I mean?
Good point, yeah.
Yep. Well, let's go back to Gina's comment, taking a couple words from this and pull them out and see what you guys think it should be needed in. If it's possible.
So that second paragraph could literally be removed.
Yep.
I agree.
Got
Yep.
it?
I agree.
Because we got chapters in every one of those things.
Yep. And
Yeah,
that is well represented. I think those are great goals, and they
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
Right.
recommended in the goals.
But they're present throughout the plan.
But like, some of this stuff is inherently natural in us as human beings, that we're not gonna pollute the river.
Yeah.
Purpose, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, it's a great,
Plus, we got a whole chapter on the river.
yeah. But I mean, some things are kinda taken for granted that, yeah, we're all here to maybe protect the river.
I mean, if you really look at it, you get rid of the last two sentences too, where people feel community pride. Where residents feel safe in and around the community, because we got a whole chapter on safety.
Public safety.
Public safety is all
Yeah.
in there, yeah.
So everything we've got below that top paragraph is in a chapter.
It's present throughout the plan.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the one you read is more comprehensive.
Could you scroll up a little bit, please?
Sure can.
Well,
It's broader.
it's definitely broader, and I think
Yeah.
that's the approach you should probably take to this thing, be more broader instead of actually, because it doesn't,
We're taking a macro approach, right?
yeah, I mean,
Well, I will admit that I was looking at this incorrectly, and it feels like maybe they were too, that they were trying to come up with the vision of the village versus the vision of the comp plan.
it's a vision of the comp plan.
And then if that's the case, then
And
I think
that's-
the one you read is,
That's what this vision is here.
Yeah, I do too. Those are important differences.
yeah, but I played right along with it and went, oh, it's the vision of the, but that's not what it's stating here.
Now, the remaining sections of this comp plan is definitely the part of the village.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Specific, but not.
Yeah,
not the overall vision statement.
Yep.
Because we're following what the statute has up there for Wisconsin, what's it calls out, and what's your purpose of a comp plan.
so if we took the example that you've read now twice.
I'll say it again, planning is an orderly, open approach to determine local needs, setting goals and priorities, and developing a guide for action.
I think that's pretty darn good, given this definition.
And then, of course, it calls out, like I stated, the statute of Wisconsin statute of a comprehensive plan.
I think it meets the expectation.
I'm sorry.
Simple?
I think it works, it meets.
Well, I like the word policies, programs, you know, what's in that, in the state, is that, right there? I sort of like those words versus neighbors, community, I mean, do you know what I mean?
Respect, protect, or, yeah, or,
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna keep that paragraph though, right? The vision's the one that says Wisconsin.
that's the one we're gonna be updating, I believe.
Yeah,
You-
so
you-
this
you-
is just the statute saying what we have
That's
to
just the
have.
statute.
That's a
Right.
statute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I think
We're
we're,
gonna keep that
we're
there.
suggesting.
Yeah, exactly.
All of this goes away,
And we update the top one,
and
right
we,
there.
and we add in what Tim red, because these are all great concepts and ideas and goals, but they're all are called out below.
Right. Yeah, right. That's a different vision
Yeah,
than
Yeah.
the village vision should be.
I like that.
Are you okay with, I mean, I can paste this to, send it to Gina?
I'm good with that.
Send it to everyone, I can just
Do we
paste.
need to vote on that, or can we just do that based on his?
I don't think we're done yet, though, are we?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be one recommendation,
Okay.
that we update the
The vision statement,
vision statement to be more specific to the requirement.
the comprehensive plan that was passed on by Wisconsin statute, that 66, the one I got in front of me.
Yep.
I asked Paul if we needed to vote each one of them, he said it's totally up to you. He goes, this is not needed, I think.
Oh, as opposed to just the whole when we're done?
Right, as we just keep rocking. At the end, we can say with this discussion throughout, and at the end, we can just say, based on the discussion we've had, we've moved it forward in this sense. Okay, so I'll send that to her.
How
Right.
hard would it be for her to plug that in on our top?
Let me see here, Gene. I like that idea.
So I have.
You have
a-
edit rights?
Not on this one, I do have a working draft, but if you wanna send it, I will.
Coming right here.
Put it in here, I just might not be able to save this working draft. And no, I'm not looking for a job, I'm hiring.
You're hiring, you said?
You have email ready there, Gina?
Mhm. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's not letting me. I'll just do it here and then,
Yeah, just to put a white, yeah. Put the sticky there. Okay. I feel when you're looking at the overall goals of the next section there, I don't want to spend much more time on this. I think they've pretty much have gone through everything there. I don't know, Gina, I think at that point, if we have to get any more, look and see if the persons the several people that sent, if they had any updates to that section. They did not.
no, I think once we.
They did not.
Go through the detailed goals, we would then come back and make sure those high-level goals match.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I see what you're saying, yeah. So you're talking, once we get into the implementation section side of it, see if they fall back into the actual sections under the overall goals in the areas here. Because then I feel we could jump to the implementation for right now. All right, so I don't know if you guys have copies of it. I know Gina sent it to you, but at the very end of the actual plan itself, every comp plan has an implementation section. And this, I feel, has a lot of questions pertaining towards whether or not the comp plan is calling out, or basically they feel that the village is responsible for some of these things. And we can go right to the very first section in housing, if you would like to go there, and in your plan, and I have it here. I mean, they call out sections.
Page 82, in case anybody wants to.
Yeah, page 82 of the actual document. But it says, so, you can just start pulling these things out, and you can question yourself, are these the responsibility of the village to provide this? Or are they, I guess it's unclear. I mean, and I think Gina, we had a brief discussion on this when I was asking her how I should approach this, and I think, right, Gina, maybe we can start touching each one of these things if we want, and just generally talk about what is the goal here
Yeah.
of the thing. All of the ones that I went through, the 7, 8 different ones that looked at different, they all had a paragraph that basically explained the implementation side. They didn't have an Excel detailed, I call this an Excel type file format of what the village, I'm assuming, should be responsible for.
So Tim, a little background too, if we look at the St. Croix County, they did the memorandum after we did the survey results, which we had, that almost 200 and some people come. Just for, we'll go through this with each one. Housing was rated as the lowest category as far as importance to people within the survey. And then within the housing section, 66% said that they are satisfied with the housing options in their neighborhood. And 86% said they are satisfied with the external appearance, conditions, and maintenance of properties around them. When they asked about what types of housing needed, the biggest housing that was called out in the survey results were single-family housing at 73%, senior housing at 61%, and affordable housing at 53%. And then it kind of goes down from there, condominiums, duplexes, et cetera. But single-family was 1, senior was 2, and affordable was 3. So this is an example of where I, Bill, to answer your question, when I look at the survey results and then I look at the goals, and we have affordable housing called out in like 5 of the 6 goals, but yet it's ranked
The lowest in the overall survey.
lower, then I go, does that feel right? I'm not saying it's not an important thing, but to have 5 goals that talk about affordability when the results didn't call that out, that's where I think this board needs to have that discussion. Say, is that appropriate, or is it not, given the survey?
I think our job is to gather data, which a lot of data was gathered, and then filter that data in accordance with, what by tradition and the combined knowledge of this committee and prior plans, how that formulates the proposed plan.
Okay,
Eventually, it's up to the board, but our role would, I see it as doing just that, filtering and adding where appropriate and deleting where appropriate.
Advising, yep.
Well, I gotta be honest with you, I think this whole table is questionable of how much value that it brings, because it doesn't tie it all to the survey.
It's pretty one-sided in a lot of it relative to housing.
Affordable housing. How do you define affordable housing, right?
Yep.
well, I go back to the word that's used a lot, and that word is the word provide. And I guess my question is, how can a village provide that activity? I mean, I went through the plans, and I always see a lot of, in other plans, they say the intention of is used a lot instead of the word provide. And it's really just changing some of the wordage that keep you more safe, but we're dependent, of course, number one, how much land we have to provide housing, and number two, the developers come in through, and that's the whole process in place and how we look at that, any property being developed, And it starts right here, they have to come to conditional use plan if they're doing something, it's, the whole thing's in place. Obviously, there's trying to push, which, I wouldn't use the word push even, I mean, the direction they're trying to give there is just, something that I don't know if the village can actually provide or do.
This seems more like a plan for this committee versus the village.
Yeah, yep.
That seems like a very specific, and even then, I don't know how we can do half the things on here.
Well, you can keep going through a lot of this thing,
Well, I mean, how do you have a
Go-
mixed-use,
clean it, and,
a mixed-use district like that? I mean, there's no land to put a mixed-use district on.
yeah, Candace, you can go through a lot of it, you're questioning it, but we're just starting the first one, the housing. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
if
don't-
we're zoned specifically for a housing element or single family and those things, aren't we leaving it up to the market to decide what the product and the offering is gonna be relative to demand and, direction? I mean,
That sounds like a fantastic goal. Listen to the market, to, you know,
Yeah,
allow the
well,
market to help drive the,
If we looked at the data that was shared when some of the housing trends and things happened, we saw incremental large appreciation in residential values. We saw, you know, lots of new families and product that had everything from rentals to single-family housing to, you know, twin home, townhomes. We had a pretty diverse growth in areas that were dictated kind of by market demand.
I agree. I agree. I'm just paging through another sample of one, but yeah.
Is it possible to scroll to the housing, like the following types of housings that are needed?
yep.
In the plan itself, yep.
Yeah, 92.
82 is what we're on.
So she's going back up the housing survey and
Yeah.
everything, and then,
So affordable housing, I mean, this is just so I can clarify my thought pattern right now. So affordable housing came back on the survey as the tied for the first most. So our plan is to provide more affordable housing, but the results of the survey indicate that we need more single-family homes, and we need more senior housing, et cetera, and the least resulted is mobile home parks, freestanding mobile home, recreational home. So it's almost backwards in accordance to our goal. So like letting the market dictate is probably the more logical.
Because we've seen the market shift dramatically over the course of a couple of years, and if this is a 10-year plan, the ability to sit here and say, it's gotta be this or it's gotta be that, I think is unrealistic.
Okay, so we need to figure out what goals we want for housing, right?
well, look at what the implementation is asking here and understand if we want to move them forward or understand how we want to change them.
Well, when we read through those, I mean,
I,
you just
yeah.
start with the first one, you know, support housing that meets the physical and financial needs of the residents. Well, the physical needs come into the zoning aspect of it, right? So zoning already tells you what you can build on a certain piece of property, right? Encourage affordable housing. How do you go about doing that?
TIF districts and things like that, you know, would have to be created, or change your zoning classification to
High density,
Yeah.
high density, yeah, which doesn't always mean affordability. So,
so as one of the goals is to be mindful of,
Evolving market trends.
evolving market trends and
Oh,
how the
yeah,
zoning,
Yep,
zoning plan supports evolving market trends.
Yep.
Great.
yeah, I like that. Can you write that down?
Oh, I don't know what I just said.
Shoot, I should have my
And it's
recorder on me.
recorded. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so,
Is this being recorded?
yeah,
yeah,
Sweet.
yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, thank you, River Channel, for
Yeah.
adjusting. Okay, so what did I just say?
zoning trends supporting market trends, or,
Yeah, market trends driving, and then the zoning, adjusting accordingly to market trend.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. I'll remind myself when I watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, they state here, many unanticipated social, economic, and policy factors in a large region or local regions and nationally can influence the local growth. So it's basically what you're saying right there, the market thing.
Yeah.
The housing costs and demand, it's all based off the market and what's happening. So, going back to this, do we strike these out and just base it off of the one?
I would get rid of them. I'm not gonna lie about it. Cause I see nothing there. If you look at it, we went through the first one, the second one, create residential zoning classification, the reduced minimum lot sizes. Well, that's a zoning issue, okay? So if based on the statement that you made, if you rezone to meet market demand, that fulfills that obligation. Educate the community about housing programs. Well, that's kind of your bank's business. Educate people on how to finance a house, right? I mean, mixed-use TIFs, there's no land to do it on. Encourage joint public and private participation with state and federal programs, provide incentives for affordable housing construction. There isn't any real estate to do it on.
So TIF is potential, Kim. I mean,
Not a
that,
mixed use, but a TIF is potential
TIF, yeah.
for the shop
TIF
yards.
shop yard is what we're looking at for TIF. That is definitely potential there.
Do we remove the
Okay.
mixed use and say, consider, be open to, look into whatever TIF district were appropriate?
Exactly, just
Yeah.
basically the intent to look into it, you know, when TIF is most appropriate, yeah.
You know, I see, I've been involved in, I don't know how many planning documents in my career, but I see them as a valuable tool as a look-back measure. Meaning, if this committee is dealing with zoning, then we should be looking back at the planning document. What points do they raise that we should be considering?
And my comment to that is if you really narrow it down in this, then you don't have an opportunity to
Oh, no, this is just sort of a guiding
guide,
force.
yep. I agree with you, yep.
What do we think of this last one? We think that's covered in the first one, the market-driven? Do we think we need to call out the senior aspect since it was called out in the survey?
And it had a high percentage.
I think, in this one I'm looking at, they do,
Yeah, and it was brought up in our
Yeah.
discussions
Yeah.
too, you know, where, and it was even brought up, I think, on the the rezoning discussion up there, on the site off of 35.
Yeah.
You know, that seemed to be
yeah.
Everybody got
attractive,
yeah. Everybody got excited when they thought it was gonna be
Yeah.
senior
senior
potential.
potential,
Yeah.
and that's not what they wanted.
Right.
Yeah, they talked about as new people move in, you also have to consider those people who've been here for years and that wanna have some alternative to live, stay here and live, you know,
Yeah.
So
And that
I-
was discussed at one of the planning meetings
yeah,
one night.
yeah.
And in the plan, if we looked at growth and the statistics that drove, you know, home values and those things, if we look at existing homes in the market, you know, they serve obviously a purpose to, you know, with locations and sizing and give us diverse opportunity for other buyer
Yep.
price ranges as they become available. Doesn't have to
Remember
always be
which one of you
new.
said it, and you're right on, the zoning ordinances today say, if I'm zoned this is what I can and can't do.
Right.
Do we wanna talk about, always being able to consider the variance process? So if you have a variance that, or be open to the variance process for these, so if you have something that is outside of that zone, it can be considered and discussed and debated through the variance process? Or do we just, that's
we
just
need
it
to
is
say
what
that,
it
though?
is? Maybe not.
Because the variance process.
It's already in place.
It's already in place, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying there, Gina, but I mean, I don't wanna change what we already have in place as far as our normal steps that come and approach any type of change to our variance or any change to zoning. I mean, it's there. You got a comment, you got us here to review that.
So we've got market-driven demand, TIF when appropriate, and senior are the three goals for housing, which aligns perfectly with the
Survey.
survey.
And to be honest with you, it just broadens it, but it covers those areas up there that they're talking about. I don't know about the maintain aesthetics and quality of local housing. I mean, how can, this goes back to, Candace's statement about some of these things are really called out about our actual local people, I mean, the people themselves, the residents themselves.
Right, I
You
mean, I
know.
think, because zoning is already in place, correct?
Yep.
Certain state standards are already in place, state laws and statutes. I don't know that, I don't even like this whole chart. I just don't think it pertains, is that what you said? I just don't think it pertains.
I know.
And I think when people come before this committee, many of these things are taken into consideration, but if someone buys a piece of property, we can't encourage them, I mean, we can, but to federal programs and incentives and affordable, I mean, that's not why they're here. So I think this doesn't apply.
Yeah, required new development to have certain designs.
How are you gonna do that?
And entrances and windows and garages and.
That's done by
And none of that
covenants
is
and
happening
subdivision.
anyway.
No, no,
If you
that's-
drive
that's
around the village,
development.
none of this is currently happening anyway. So,
But you do have if you have your local associations within your neighborhoods.
Yeah.
If
They
they're following
control.
that,
oh, that's true. If-
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then, I mean, that's all in place,
Which
Yeah.
we've seen.
and we definitely have seen, yes.
But there should be no more associations in place, is there? Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah,
East Bank.
East Bank and,
up where we are. Every house built in there
Yeah.
is car association.
On North Tenth?
You didn't see the garage below us? You see it every day when you drive up this shed?
But, you know, to be honest with you, the neighborhood they had an association. It didn't really mature, but we had it. When the homes were being built, they had a template you should follow.
Yeah.
Derek,
follow it.
Derek has it up.
Yep,
I
Derek had it,
think-
yep.
So it's for each phase that has to have that?
Well, my point there, well, I mean, when you come and look at this, I don't know how the village can drive that, though.
They can't.
No.
I think the
The
three
only way
goals.
they do is in their development standards where they have green space, they require a landscaping
Right.
plan.
Right,
It's
a
you know,
park,
those
a
things.
park, if, you know, if they have any size of the apartment, they have to have an
Yeah.
adjacent park area,
That's
yes.
all in
But there's
place.
already ordinance.
And those are already
Those are already
ordinances,
there.
those are already in place.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Agreed.
Remove this?
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
we
I'd get rid of it.
replace
add what you
this
just-
with, I really like for something like this, replacing it with a paragraph that speaks to these three.
And that's what I've seen consistent with all the 7, 8 of
In
them I've
the
seen.
housing
It's just a,
section.
it's just a paragraph that explains it all, yep.
Okay.
Next.
Next. Transportation.
I think we need light rail. No, I'm just joking.
So
buying
again,
that.
just, I have it handy,
You're
so
buying?
the transportation, it kind of is a mixed bag when the survey results, but, the people are satisfied with snow removal at 73%. 58% would like to see more, street curb appeal. But again, I don't know how we force people on 6 to have curb appeal. Only 27% said more public transit. Only 20% said commuter facilities. 44% said that increasing traffic on our roads is a problem. 57% said the condition of our roads are acceptable. And 69% said no need for additional roads. Some things that were called out was speed. I'm not sure how much slower we can make the speed limit,
It's 35 for 2 blocks. Rest of it's 25.
you know. And again, this is not safety, this is just transportation, so I think the speed limit is,
Safety.
yeah, people not following the speed limit is safety. I think the speed limit is appropriate.
I'll be honest, I've read several, and they do call out, you know, likewise, decisions with transportation affect a local community. They said new roads, bike facilities, land values, land use, all around that, your roads and streets and how they're maintained is huge with your community. Some of this I agree, I just think, I think I'd like to see it differently, reworded differently and placed in more of a paragraph type, like the ones I've been reading, but, and a lot of them call it being the safety, you know, the width, the width of the road itself, whether there's a sidewalk on them, you know, so forth and so on, like, for instance, I don't have a sidewalk in my cul-de-sac,
I don't have a sidewalk either.
but I mean, it's not missed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And that based on development, I think I sat on some of the development plans, and the plans were rejected because they were encouraging to put sidewalks in. Well, then it narrows the street, and now you have an impact with overall people parking on the street, safety, the fire and
Can't
ambulance
plow.
go. And what's that?
The public works can't plow.
can't plow. Yeah, so there's all the impact to that. So if you set that, it has to be on a case-by-case activity. How much?
Well,
So-
where you guys live, you have sidewalks on one side of the street, right? Or both sides? On North 10?
One side.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I picked a lot because it wouldn't have a sidewalk on it. when we
Yeah,
did
you have to maintain it.
highway.
Yeah, they kept it the way it was in the first edition.
Okay.
That kinda ended by Jansen Park.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the part
Alta.
that's, you can't see?
Yeah, yeah. And then when they extended, they kept them basically on the west side of the roadway going
Okay.
through.
I ride my bike over there and I thought I saw sidewalks on one side of the street but not the
Yeah.
other.
I don't know how we want to approach this one, but I think there's some key things, to be honest with you, but I think I'd like to see it more of like in a paragraph format to just give you kind of overall. There is a lot of reference towards bike and pedestrian type plans. I agree in some sense, but the other side of it, I think we could work with our local municipalities and county and everything in developing more of a, overall direction with a bike plan, but I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of it's in place. If it comes, when a developer comes in, he's creating a new area, which we don't have much left for land, but they come in, they have to follow a guideline. They have to follow a plan, which we already have in place.
Well, if you want your paragraph, I like the idea of including things that potentially can be done that are very concrete.
Yep.
Like always revisit sidewalk, bike paths, safety, curbs for seniors. Those things are very concrete things that can potentially be done.
Yep.
The rest of it, I don't think we need that chart.
I think everything you said, the curbs for, wheelchairs or
Sure,
whatever,
access, yeah.
I think that's all law. You don't have a choice.
Oh, well,
It's already ordinances
Okay.
that you have to do that
yeah,
stuff.
you're probably right.
So,
So I just like the concrete things that,
So to me, when I'm looking at this,
Can't
the
do-
concrete things that we could do is the inventory areas for traffic calming and safe routes to school and implement strategies. That's something the village can do, right? So we can look at traffic patterns around the school
Yep.
and
Yep,
that one.
definitely.
I
Yeah.
could see we could do
yeah,
that.
that's a good safety.
Yeah.
We've already provided opportunities to move throughout the village by means other than automobiles. We've got a UTV.
UTV,
Golf
ATV,
carts.
yep.
Golf carts that we're doing. Encourage walking and biking. It could be encourage other means of movement in the village other than motor vehicles, which is right back to what we just talked about with golf carts. Doesn't have to be just bicycles, you know? Are we having safety issues with existing?
No. No, and it's reviewed every month with our public safety,
the golf cart and ATV.
everything. The chief brings a complete list of all the activities with that, he has his plan. He lays it all out, no.
I personally feel like it's an area, cost-wise, that the county has already committed millions of dollars to with the
Yeah.
path going out 35,
Yeah.
brought it
Yeah.
right up
Yep.
to our doorstep, have talked about a corridor
Yep.
through the village. They want to build an extension out to Willow River State Park. It's like, why would we consider going in that business?
Yeah.
When they're the ones that really seem to have the money to pay for it.
And in fact, the extension that I just confirmed with Jason at the county, he's been fantastic communicating things with me. The extension that they were looking at to get it one more
Yeah.
block, it's 2030 at the earliest. And that's assuming they can get funding, grant funding. But 2030 was the date he gave
And
me.
they also said the first goal was to take 35 extension coming out of the village and connect it to the new park on Old 35. But then that possibly could change to go out River Road and connect it to the state park first, so. Once again, are these
So-
bike routes for the village that seem to work pretty fine on our city streets and sidewalks for kids and safety? Or is it really a bike path vision for tourists and things that I think the county is driving?
So do we monitor
We-
and cooperate with the county through their,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
envisioning of their plan.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it just, I gotta admit, I get really upset when I drive down 35, and there's a bike trail right here, and you got these people riding their bikes in the road,
Not even on it.
and they're not on the bike trail. We got a bike trail here, and they're on the road here.
Oh, twice people have come from St. Croix Street on their bikes on the sidewalk and turned right to go down towards Malibu. 20 miles an hour, just right on the side. To the one point, I thought he was gonna go across the road. But yeah, I get you with the bicycle, I watch for him, but sometimes,
So I would think that's more we could control, what you're talking about there, coordinate with the county and any future plans.
yeah.
And if we line up with that county, you know, we definitely, we bring that forward, but I agree.
Can I go back to the encourage the other means? Conceptually, I like that. How would we, again, kind of to Candace's point, as the village, how would we encourage other means of transportation?
We've already been doing it.
Yeah.
We could add bicycles to that line item as well. I mean,
Can already ride bicycles.
provide or encourage residents throughout the
Well,
village. I mean,
everything is in place. There are paths, there are, you can't encourage really people to use them.
You can
That's why I'm
maintain
talking
them.
about more concrete things. Leave it in the plan, but encouraging, promoting, things like that, I don't think fall under our purview.
So what happens if our goal is to maintain the existing sidewalks so that people want to use them and are comfortable using them?
We just fixed them all.
We did, but maintaining over the
Maintain,
10
this
years.
is the 10, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But isn't there an ordinance or something that already covers maintenance of that? No?
no,
Okay.
There's a budget item, but
Then we need to
obviously we
include
went-
that, I think.
Okay, that would be something we could control.
absolutely.
That would encourage other means of transportation,
Yeah.
okay?
but going back to Bill's statement, we provided ATV, UTVs and golf carts, so we visited some of that. I don't know what other, who knows now, 10 years from now, what other transportation might be there.
Yeah. And I see new neighborhoods that are putting in sidewalks and
Yeah.
encouraging it, and
Yeah.
the developers paying for it. So we have extended, I guess, biking opportunities, and certainly walking. I see so much walking activity.
Right.
Seem to be doing a pretty good job already with it.
I mean, I ride my bike almost every day around town for about 45 minutes, and I've never had a problem worrying about, I mean, people were complaining about, what's the very first road in the village?
Oh, Wisconsin?
No, they're
Oh,
Summer Street?
way down by the water.
Galahad?
Galahad.
oh,
That we need a bike trail on Galahad. I rode down there today, I didn't see one car pass me
I
up,
ride it every day, yeah.
Yeah.
and I never saw anybody pass me up.
Yeah.
The
You
whole
know,
road acts like one.
Yeah, the whole road's a bike track, path.
Exactly, there's no curve, yeah, it's a good point, Bill.
okay.
All right,
so we-
anything else there?
So we like T7, the inventory areas, to see if there's some options to continue to make the
Yep,
routes.
I like that.
Yep.
We like to encourage the other means by maintaining existing sidewalks and paths.
Yep.
We're gonna monitor and cooperate with St. Croix County on their plan.
Yep,
Those are the three
Yep.
goals.
Should we say anything about cooperating, instead of just saying St. Croix County, with surrounding communities?
yeah, it's in there already,
good, yep.
Tim, I agree with you. So I like, you know, basically that statement right there.
Or organizations, if they might be involved.
Organizations, good point. Yep, good call.
Because when you cross the bridge, there's a bike lane in Hudson, but then our road, they have parking on the road,
Yeah,
and they have a bike lane. We don't have parking on the road, but we don't have a bike lane
yeah. But we built 35 wide enough for
wide
it.
enough, and we paid extra to make it wider, right? Didn't that cost the village money? And now we don't have, and then the county doesn't put stripes there for a bike lane, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, they don't,
We can't, because we don't have the
We don't.
equipment to do it
Yeah.
that long ago. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. I think everything in TG2, basically, we're touching everything on top. Vehicle traffic, provide safe conditions for pedestrians, we're doing it, if we do the sidewalk thing, we're touching that. I don't understand the fossil fuels, that's what you want to eliminate,
So this one,
gas powered,
the city has a transportation,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just, it's like Hudson Transportation or something like that. And it serves North Hudson, but what I've heard is that, they charge North Hudson residents more than they charge the city. So maybe is there something, instead of providing transportation options, could we consider looking, or working with the city to, maybe there's some sort of a joint agreement we could come to so that North Hudson residents aren't paying
Oh, the
more.
pickup stuff, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that van, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I was at the eye doctor this morning, they had brochures there about that service to take you to the eye doctor.
Yeah, that might be an
Doesn't it
option.
come back to just collaborating with,
But we've
Our-
got collaboration with communities on programs in one of these sections, where we talked about, you talked about EMS and some of
Yeah.
the other things earlier.
shared
Shared services.
services,
The
it's like,
shared, there's a section on shared services someplace in this, I can't remember where exactly right now, but where we talked about some of those things like that, the deal we're talking about now.
Because if we're saying housing, senior housing is important, then in transportation, we should probably have something that addresses a desire
Yep,
to provide.
yep,
I don't think we can afford to provide transportation options like the city, but I do think we can look at a shared service for transportation options for the senior and elderly and disabled in the community.
yeah, I like that.
Okay.
And I think it is, like I say, I think it is in here someplace, I can't remember where though.
You are right, yep.
yeah, I did remember, you're right.
Okay, I don't know if anything else on there, I mean, identify mats and preserve potential land and the ability to, could be used for public transportation in future, oh, I don't know what that is at all, I mean, anything else in that TG, you moved on to TG
I
three then?
did, sorry.
That's fine, let's move on to TG three, I'm with you. Yep. Okay, cost-effective transportation and maintenance.
The maintenance I could get, so basically what this is saying to me is continue to look for grants and other funding opportunities to
Yeah.
help pay for our roads, that,
Yeah.
I'm
And
great
I,
with that.
I
That's why
think
we're doing the plan.
Yep,
the Paisley rating, I think is outstanding that we follow that. Right?
yep,
I mean, I've talked to a lot of our public works director about that and how we follow that rating and we keep our streets maintained. I think
City
it's
does it, right?
huge. So we can keep some of them there, Gina, I think, or, I just, yeah, I'm stuck on the format of this whole thing, but I just think we can make this better in that sense. But I agree, some of those things definitely, all grants and all that stuff definitely is needed. Anything else, TG4?
I don't know how the village does that,
Which one?
well, TG
Any,
four,
yeah,
Yeah.
the only neighborhoods that are left are,
So if you go north on 10th Street, you get to the last stop sign, used to be, that street turns right and it dead ends there. Is there potential that the village will annex that, or Zappa owns all that back there, right? Was there a long-term plan, or I don't know this, that's why I'm asking.
It's in, I think it's in our plan for future
Didn't we have a committee, didn't we have a?
development expansion.
we have no timeline commitment for
okay.
them, but.
Okay,
And everything we've talked about with accessibility, walkability, bikeability, they implemented all that in the phases that they've done prior, so they've done a good job of guiding it along.
TG4 you on?
Yep. Again, this to me feels like if we had a growing suburban city, these are things to think through, but there's just not much street building left. There's repairs and maintenance, but not a lot of street building or road systems.
yeah.
I mean, all of our subdivisions have multiple accesses. the only flow of traffic and preserve the road side of it is already in place. I don't know how we can change anything there. I suggest we strike it.
Utilities.
All right. Anyone need a break? All right, so utilities. Let's see, this was, and again, this is kind of all over the board. The
What's the survey state there, yeah?
Yeah, so there's two different surveys, utility and community facility rating was question 11. The things they thought were excellent were police protection, village hall, fire protection, and ambulance services were the top ones. The ones that need improvement, the big ones that need improvement is high-speed internet, and drinking water quality, and recycling programs.
Mm.
So let's talk about maybe broadband, high-speed internet. Is there any, I have no idea, is there anything we can do as a village to improve that utility?
Do we have control of other services coming into our village? I don't know, I don't believe we do.
So how do we end up with Comcast here? Does anybody know?
We don't.
I don't.
It's everybody
I mean-
on their own. But
Yeah.
that's the way it is everywhere. I
Yeah,
think.
every, I think
Yeah.
it's, I
Yeah.
mean, you can go from, you can try, I can name about 3 or 4 different services, AT&T, Comcast, T-Mobile with their hubs now.
Yeah.
Verizon's not here yet, Xfinity, I mean, whatever. So, I mean, they're all there. I mean, do we have another option where fiber comes into our house other than Comcast? No. That's the only one.
Drinking water quality,
We're dependent on lovely Hudson to provide that.
Yeah, they just raised our rates.
and recycling programs.
I don't know how much more we can recycle. Or can we? Are they talking about like TVs and?
Yeah, so that's an interesting one, because we've seen other communities that have like recycling days or
We used to have them here.
garbage pickup days. I mean, is that something, just looking at the rest of these, we could consider?
The county has that once a year event,
Yep.
but it'd be nice if it was twice a year.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know the county had one until you just said it.
Yeah, they have like a roundup.
Yeah. You're wait in line for a long time if you got something. But I've done it. It works. I don't know, Gina, I think it wouldn't hurt to put something like that in that would look into it and provide
Explore.
an opportunity that, we could do it. That one I wouldn't mind shutting the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think part of it too is a bigger plan of, once you have a recycling container, what really happens to it after that? It's all feel good if you bring it out to your curbside, but if the company that's running it puts
Ships
it
it
in
to
the same
China.
pile, and I know in city of Hudson, when I call them my containers at an apartment building, they're like, well, you don't even have to have one, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Do you collect and do things differently with it? And he didn't really have much of an answer, so.
Well, maybe here's a different approach. So right behind that one, then the next one was garbage collection and cleanup, and we're having some big concerns of people with garbage collection. Do we, as a goal, consider alternative options for garbage collection, cleanup, recycling,
All in general?
Like a
all
center or
encompassing?
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I mean, are there other options than hiring a big company? Do we have a city dump? I don't know, that's probably not, but I mean, do
That's a
we?
good question, I think, and that came up in some of those, when we had those meetings that night. And I think the biggest issue we got is only one guy quoted our garbage pickup. So that's a problem, right?
It-
Lack of competition.
Yeah, it definitely was. I do know now, so the reason why that was only quoted by, well, two companies was because the transfer station that the garbage companies have to use to then dispose of the garbage, the only one that was close by was owned by Waste Management, and they make it unaffordable for other smaller haulers. Well, they just recently opened another transfer station in Somerset, so I think we would see potentially a lot of different haulers actually be able to give us some affordable response because they don't have to rely on paying the extra for waste management transfer station.
Okay. So why don't we put something in there about,
Explore
yeah,
Or other
alternatives.
Yep.
yeah.
trash and recycling companies for,
I mean, it might even be, sometimes it's, do we have a paper recycling day where we pay to have,
Right.
the shredder come in and people can bring in their papers and, there's things that we could look at too that maybe isn't traditional, but we could explore different strategies around helping with.
Well, one of the law
Collection.
offices downtown has a Stone Mountain, is it Stone Mountain? Where the guys that
Oh,
got
yeah.
the trucks, what?
It's,
Something Mountain,
yeah,
where they had a deal downtown one day where you could bring all your documents and they'd shred them for you
Oh,
down there.
right, yeah.
I mean, you could do something like that. That falls under, in my mind,
Recycling.
collection, recycling. That also opens the door to say, when we have the storms, right now, in order for us to agree to pick up the big logs and stuff, we have to have an emergency because there's gotta be funds and stuff. But ones, if we had a smaller pile where people could bring sticks and shrubs and then, we dispose of them or something, I don't know, in the fall, a fall cleanup event or something.
Yep,
Right, we could explore some of those things to address.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. So we'll make it more
so,
generic, explore
Right.
alternatives for collection of trash and recyclings, but there's some other things we can look at.
so you're still up in that one section of the G1, which is provide quality of community services and facilities at a reasonable cost of taxpayers.
Yes.
Okay,
But I'm thinking that,
just in general, you're trying to broaden it and just kind of give
yeah,
a higher
that
level.
these kind of all, well,
Yep,
some of those don't. Like, this was an example of community facilities. We don't have any, there's gonna be the
right.
community center, but that's not the village.
Not the village, yep. Yeah, okay, you got it. We move on to the next one. You touched them all. I mean, I don't, some of them I think we have to really consider how you can, facilitate design and aesthetics.
Mhm.
But that's all, that's some stuff's not driven outside of the village, it's the Pepperfest doing some of that activity, so.
What do we think of, this one has come up a couple times in the document, the idea of, annexing and I'm assuming consolidation study.
Review past consolidation study. I don't know what that means.
I
would
don't know
that
if
have to
it's-
do with shared services, or what was that about?
I don't know. Okay, I just wanna make sure I wasn't,
Well, there's residential people that are strongly in favor of being annexed by Hudson and, being one. And that could be potentially some of the statements right there. We're sharing already our utilities with water
Yeah,
and fire.
a lot of communities share fire though.
Exactly.
Only one where really, water's the only real one that's, and they get, the wells are
this
on North
is on
Hudson.
like,
Yeah.
so this one, yeah, very much doable. We're in negotiations right now to coordinate with the city for sanitary and water needs.
Yep, yep.
That would make sense.
And the state won't let us have our own anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and we could never afford it.
No,
Yeah.
our taxpayer could not handle that.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're performing that activity right now as far as,
Excuse me.
I'm good with exploring grants, always.
That's why we're doing the study, or
Yeah.
doing the plan.
This, I mean, I don't know, it's a goal that happens, it's already in place.
Which one you on, Gina?
Well, sorry, I was kind of, the Public Works Committee using the capital improvement plan.
Yeah.
That gets updated every year.
Yep.
Yep.
You're always exploring grants when it comes to,
I don't know about this,
I'd get rid of it.
what is the 1986 Comprehensive Service Water Management Plan, Gene?
I have no idea. And the only place that the village would be, we have two parks that the village owns. I guess, yeah, two parks that the village owns right now that abut to the water, and that's Ferry Landing and Browns Beach.
Browns Beach, yep.
So I don't know how,
I think they're talking, I think, if I remember right, that was one of the early meetings. I think that referred to retention ponds in the village and some of those types of issues.
okay,
Because it's surface water management. I
Okay.
agree with you there. That
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
okay.
the one behind my house is full of mosquitoes.
Six is interesting. Other methods to keep streets safe in the winter.
Wasn't that looked at one time? I thought at one time there was looking at different materials to help with the snow melt and everything on the streets, but
They're using cheese curd salt. Salt that they use to process cheese. They're putting that on the roads they're using it as a byproduct of the
Okay.
cheese-making process. I don't know,
I don't think we do that, though.
I don't know where you get it from around here.
Just say, does North Hudson put sand on the streets?
No,
So I
No.
didn't think so. I was
Nope.
confused by that. I
Yep,
have
nope.
not seen sand.
We should cut that back from salt use to more sand.
There you go, yeah.
Well, the bridge,
We
Lake
can-
Malibu Bridge has got plenty of sand on it, where all the surface is coming up.
But it's the salt, isn't it, the worry that goes into our watershed
Yeah.
and causes the problems versus
The
the
sand.
sand. It may infiltrate our retention ponds and fill them up earlier, but
we could be mindful of the amount of,
I would rather see it read as salt instead of sand.
I don't know if reduce is the right, or just, you know, be conscious of it, right?
Right.
Because I can't say today, I don't know if anyone else can say that Matt and team are over applying salt today.
Right.
So we're gonna tell them to reduce it, from what? Just be mindful, don't use it in excess, right?
Then people will call and say, hey, I can't get up my road.
Yep.
I can't get up 10th Street.
Well, that's okay, there's a goal in the comp plan that says that's
I can't
okay.
get past Kirkwood Way on 10th Street.
I would just say be mindful of this, of the,
Yep.
I don't know if you could probably say sand or the products applied to the streets.
Yeah, there you go,
Winterization.
winterization,
Timing.
all right. Oh, here's your pond maintenance, speaks a little bit more to that.
Yeah, there it is, right there, Tim, yeah, consider pond maintenance.
Encourage rain gardens in residents' yards.
Let's get rid of,
I don't know how I'd do that.
Yeah, you're gonna take that one out, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. All right,
Now, this one I actually like.
meet the needs of village residents, to meet the needs of village residents, yeah.
And I think the park board is doing a really bang-up job right now, coming up with what is needed in each of the parks.
Yeah, I agree. I've watched those meetings. It's going really well.
Good.
I still struggle with the amount of usage of the parks.
Well, we all do. I mean, in fact, we have so many of them, but that's part of the planning, because the fact is, we have a development,
Yeah.
we encourage them to put a park in, based on the size.
Oh, I agree with that. I'm just saying for the village to spend more money to buy land and
I know, yeah.
to put parks in, because some people came to the meeting saying, we need to buy this land over here, or we need to take this land over there and buy that, and build more parks, and it's like we talked about a week ago Sunday, it was 75, 80 degrees out on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. 6 parks, not one person at any park.
Yeah.
Or I'd rather see it read, continue to provide adequate maintenance and services of parks and recreational facilities.
Yeah,
to meet the
'cause Bill,
needs of the
that's-
village
that's
Before
huge.
creating new ones.
Right, that's huge. I mean, it takes 1.5
Expensive.
people in our public works just to maintain the parks.
Yeah, what, 16 of
16
them
that
or
we
something,
have,
and
yeah.
then we're talking about new ones and we're not taking care of,
Promote
So,
public spring cleanup,
oh,
or,
yeah,
I don't know, community cleanup.
Yeah, that used to be yeah.
we could look into that, engage
yeah,
the
like a community
and,
park day or something
Yeah.
that people might love.
Get to know your parks.
Yeah. Oh, I was just looking at one of these, yeah, I mean, like, increase the quality of life through a park, I don't know. What does it take to make the village proud? I think some of those are just, they're not actionable.
For statements.
Yep, I agree. And then, I greatly understand,
Improve accessibility to parks along St. Croix River. I mean, how
Come
much,
on.
they just redid
Two.
Browns Beach,
Mhm.
right?
It's beautiful,
Yeah.
yep. And they're working on ferry now. They're coming up with a plan for ferry. Yeah, do we even call out that a goal is to kind of what Bill was speaking to get our existing parks into a adequate state before we consider
That's a good
adding new
point.
parks?
If we just had under support the village, we could have support financially the Village of North Hudson Park Board in their continued efforts to review and improve upon
know.
outdoor recreational plan
yeah.
and facilities. But I think you have to be committed financially to,
That's a great point. And we are doing that, by looking at grants, looking at capital dollars, looking at loans. To your point, there's lots of ways to financially support that.
yeah. And in the end,
Mhm.
taxpayer too.
Mhm. This is getting done.
I would blow through some of this,
Yep.
Gina. I think it's just really
Mhm.
consistent.
Yeah, too detailed.
Dude, it is. I mean, you can't, and you leave it open, it's basically saying, can the village even perform some of these things?
Mhm. Yeah.
So we're on to agriculture.
Yeah, you got it, Gina. You get-
Here we go. How about this one? Can we keep
Support
that one?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, you guys are already doing that, so other than that, that's a blank statement. I don't think it needs to be done anymore.
All right. How many more do we have? Is it just agriculture and
Is there 4 more?
economic? So what do you guys think?
we're getting there.
We're getting there. This is fantastic. Do you wanna
Might
continue
just
tonight?
grind it out and be done.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't need to kick it down the road. We already did that once.
Yeah.
Let's go through. If you don't mind, Gina.
Let
You don't mind?
Hey, as long as I can keep going to the
the
bathroom.
husband will feed everybody.
There you
It's
go.
all right.
Got him on chores tonight, so we're all good.
Take your time though.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh.
All right.
I think you're gonna see a lot of this just kind of just scratching off here, Gina, so. Agriculture, natural and cultural resources, objectives, strategies, preserve existing, encourage future tree growth throughout the village.
So the park committee is also recommending we become a tree city,
Great,
which is minimal investment and you get a
Yep.
lot of benefit.
I like that.
like it.
So could we just say support
The
becoming a
efforts
tree
of the
city?
public work, of our parks,
Yeah.
Mhm.
what's that, of our park department.
Could become an auto park community.
A That's a great
And
program.
that takes care of a lot of them there, Gina.
It does, all of these really.
All of these, if we just keep
Yeah.
following the Parks Committee and their direction.
Like it.
This one just, I don't understand how we as the village do this.
So we didn't have any control of the dredging of Lake Malibu?
We did, in the sense that we approved it,
Well, not dredging,
yeah.
just
Lowering,
drawing down.
Drawing
drawing
down,
down,
thank
there
you,
you go,
thank you,
yeah,
yeah.
thank you.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I guess if they're separating the St. Croix River and Lake Malibu, I don't know how you can say we can drive any,
mhm,
That water surface plan shows up again.
I'm gonna go like find that.
yeah,
Obviously it was in somebody's mind.
That S6 ties into one we talked about in the previous one.
Picking up Lee's and Village, doing a, yep, yep, I like that. You touched on that one earlier.
Gina, are we doing a village newsletter or anything now?
no, but I'm in the process of writing one that'll go in the tax statements for the first time for this. It'll go out like in end of November, early December.
That's one area that I think the village, we could utilize for a lot of communication
Education.
and things like that
Yeah.
for,
And the tax is the only tool really to do it, I think. you know,
yeah,
'cause
just a
everyone
quick
gets-
note about everything goes down your
Well-
storm drain, goes to the river, I mean,
Yeah.
just some,
Well, I got some property in St. Joe Township, and I get a newsletter every quarter from them, telling about, we bought a new tractor, we spent this much money doing this, shows community events that are going on.
Bless you.
There, you know, keep in mind, there's an expense behind that, right,
Yeah.
Gina?
Oh, yeah, yep.
Yeah, nothing's free.
but,
Costs a couple grand to send a letter to.
Yep.
well, no, I'm not showing letters, I'm saying online.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I would agree with
Yeah,
that. with-
you do like an
take advantage of
online
electronic.
thing,
I
and
mean-
people can sign up, and, you know, you got a mailing list from, our tax base, and you just,
Yeah, I totally agree, Bill, yeah, that's the direction we should be doing, all this stuff should be electronic, but you have to connect them first, and the way to connect them is through the tax tool, you
Yeah.
know?
yeah,
So
How
like
many
part of the
people?
letter, we were gonna do like little QR codes. Did you know you can get your animal, your pet license is now online, QR
Yeah.
code. You can get a bird permit online, QR code.
Yeah, yeah.
How many people, so you can sign up for information from the village, how many people do you know are signed up for that?
I think last time I checked, it was 178, and 15 of the people that signed up just banned me from sending more emails. So I don't know why you sign up and then say no.
but it might be
A
due to
minimum, yeah.
content or what, you know, we're doing.
It's newer, so we're trying to encourage people, and maybe that's part of that newsletter, is encouraging them to,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that goes back to Bill's statement, a lot of this educational type things they call out here can all be done through that, on that, more than annual then, of course, like, it could be quarterly like you're talking about,
Yeah.
yeah. If it's electronic,
It takes time to generate it. I mean, you just don't pull this stuff out of the sky.
no. You do a really good job of summarizing on your meetings on, the board meetings, when you're up, you talk about what's being done, you get more detailed there, which is really informative, but I agree, this is, that would cover all these things as far as that newsletter.
so do we want to set any goals protecting the Malibu, or just continue to educate residents on impacts of,
Runoff and dumping what you dump down, all that stuff, just do that kind of through, and just try to look into that newsletter, like Bill talked about. Put that on the plan, investigate a tool to communicate to our residents on a consistent basis, and talk about these things, protecting our,
okay? Environmental corridors.
I mean,
How do we support public access to Lake Malibu?
This is just gotta,
Oh, you skipped down there, yeah.
yeah. He's,
She's on that, maintain and increase environmental corridors.
just trying to see if there's anything in the survey about it.
I don't know about that one at all.
Did we talk about,
Have we even designated environmental corridors, where they are? And
we do,
I know the St. Croix, and
What is it?
what page would we?
That's a good question. I'm not sure what that means either.
it is officially, let's see.
I think it's probably on the map, and we did talk about it.
Let's see if I can do, gardens, here we go. Open space, sensitive lands.
Parks.
Oh, so a park can be how, if I'm reading this, a park can be an environmental corridor, but it can just be, there we go. Any of these are environmental
Yeah,
corridors.
open space in urban and urbanizing areas. Lands, natural resources, according protection, yeah.
At least 400 acres in size.
We just don't have,
The space.
we just don't have it.
Whole town is a whole village.
It's 1.9 miles, square miles. For passive parks and trails, we've got 3 parks that are all woods.
Yeah, so they're looking like the vegetation buffers for shorelines and wetlands, 300 feet and all that, you know. I mean, I understand 100 feet floodplains and floodways, steep wooden slopes.
But again, there's, what I'm learning the hard way, and what you guys are all experiencing, is that there are plenty of state guidelines
Yep.
and DNR guidelines and scenic riverway guidelines
We gotta follow.
that we've gotta follow.
We could just have a blanket statement that can just state and that we, you know, consistently follow the state and whatever.
Or environmental
Current environmental guidelines, DNR, you know, natural resource guidelines, whatever, that are in place for open corridors or environmental corridors, because that's what it's all calling out here. This is off the state of Wisconsin, all references DNR determination of guidelines and everything. So, and it's all around the environmental corridors. Next.
So the public access to Lake Malibu could be on the piece of land that Hudson owns.
Yep, that's when you're gonna make parking potentially.
Which piece?
So as you go up,
Cross the bridge, go turn right up the hill.
Yep.
Oh,
yep,
okay.
Trying to figure out, I mean, there's like 4 communities, or 4 municipalities out there.
There's 4 municipalities that own a stretch. There's this, a stretch that's owned by the city and the county, and then there's a stretch that's owned just by the city. So we could, I mean, I guess we could keep this, support public access to Lake Malibu, which means we're not against it.
Yep.
Just need a lot of coordination with the other municipalities.
Right.
That goes back to the, when we talked earlier about, coordinating with other communities.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just
Yep.
calling out. That's
Yep.
good. Rehabilitate culture of years of the village, North Hudson.
I wanna say I have no staff to do.
Well, don't we have,
full
don't we have,
historical inventory.
we have a historical committee in the village, right?
No, we do, you're right.
I mean, when we were going through
Mhm.
the town, the stockyards down there, and they were doing they had to go in front of the historical committee before remember we tried it before? So I would just call that out.
Do we just say,
Preserve the
Through the
historical
use-
aspects of the community based off of our historical committee that we have
yeah,
in place. You know,
through
just
the
call
use
it
of
the,
historical committee, okay?
yeah, just call that out.
You got on that one?
Yep.
Economic development.
Support and guide future growth. Um,
Okay. So 2 and 3, are we limited to what we can do there? Because we don't, I mean, how many do we have? Commercial, yeah.
one. And then the, whatever Zappa does with his old,
Yeah.
Oh, with the old restaurant. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't open yet.
yeah,
But we still draw taxes off it as if it's a running business, correct?
Exactly. No matter what, we're still drawing taxes off it, right?
Yeah.
So my question is we don't, I mean, this has been asked many times, haven't been on the board and everything. I mean, they ask the question, does the village have any say in some of those commercial things? For instance, that building, we don't, do we?
I mean, maybe we can do this. Review the current zoning map, continue to align with current,
Business practices, yeah, I like
We
that.
said that at the very first one. That we would do that.
yeah, for housing, so we'll do the same thing
Yep,
for.
exactly, yep.
Okay,
Well, and if you look at the yards over there, the old railroad yard, there's still opportunity to raise get more tax revenue. You get that Bugatti building that's fallen down. If somebody does something with that, it's gonna jump the value up. Building at the end's gonna jump the value up when they get those car condos built. And that ornament company that's in the building, there's gotta be more in there because there's like 5 electric
Yeah.
meters, so there's gotta be
Yeah.
more companies going in there besides just that one.
yeah,
That building suddenly went from $1 million to $4 million, to
Yeah.
multi-million dollars.
Right, all
You just
tax
do-
revenue,
All tax revenue.
yep.
there's the tax, we can do that again,
Consider tax it going to TIF, yeah,
for business. Actually, it probably belongs here and not up in the housing.
exactly, it doesn't belong in the housing, because you don't, TIF doesn't include the housing. Right, we should remove, yep, create and maintain unique business statement, sure.
I think that if we had a Main Street, this to me would scream Main Street. We just don't have we don't have a
Right.
Main Street. I wish we did, it'd be awesome, but we don't,
Yep,
and you
right,
can't just
right.
go back in time and recreate that.
Yeah.
happening.
Well, the dentist has got those 2 lots for sale too. When he
Oh,
broke up
yeah.
that,
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
he broke that into 3
He did, okay.
yep,
properties.
he does.
So we do have 2 other properties there,
Mhm.
and he's got a lot of covenants and restrictions based on, because he wanted to, when he came to us, to break that up,
Yep.
so.
I think under village, EG 202, sure, commercial industrials consist of the existing character of the community. It may be more appropriate for the character of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing that in some parts where we have industrial classification, but is that really what it should be
In the
based
neighborhood.
on?
That's a good point,
The
yeah.
neighbors, you know?
Yeah,
And we do need to listen to residents, and if they feel that it's not always compatible just because
right.
the zoning classification shows it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, just adding the word neighborhood there is probably more appropriate. The other one you can blow away, you can blow S one away.
You can get rid of that whole thing in my opinion.
Yep.
Yep. That's it, because that is no control by, we know no downtown, yep. Thanks, working in areas. of commercial.
View corridors.
Now we get to the integrated government stuff, that's where all those other things come together.
Yeah. Intergovernmental cooperation.
So I'm getting the feeling here, Gina, and I think you are too, if we're not standing up and saying something, you know what to do. Yeah, okay. Right, Kendon?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just keep going through this, eliminate. Yeah. If you can put it in a nice little
Paragraph?
paragraph, perfect.
That's it,
With some
yes.
keywords, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
And this is just,
I mean, all those things, it's like,
Our givens, too.
how do you provide excellent services in some way and then reduce costs or services to taxpayers?
Exactly.
I mean, the Explorer shared services with the City of Hudson.
Great.
That's, I think that's a valid one, right?
or
That's
with,
Or
popped
other-
up several times, though, in here already. It's kind
Yeah.
of redundant.
But this is really the spot where it should be.
this is where it
Oh,
should be.
oh,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
should be
okay.
here, not
Oh,
the
that's
other ones.
true.
It's
You're
just
right.
This is where it
interesting
should be.
I mean, I'm good with this.
And other municipalities, doesn't have to be just the city.
Yep, I added that in my notes with neighboring.
Neighbor, yep, neighboring community, I said there.
I'm guessing joint committees, they mean with intergovernmental.
We already have those,
We
though.
do.
We have one with the town of Hudson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm on that committee. We've never met.
With the library is another one, right?
Yeah. Was,
Joint committee?
yeah. So maybe it's
It's just a continued
re-engage,
Which one?
maybe it's re-engage these joint committees.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of like
yeah.
what we had to just do with welfare last year. They hadn't met in years and years, and now we meet every month.
What was that?
Welfare committee didn't
Oh,
meet
that's
for
right,
years,
yeah.
now we meet every month.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know why they didn't meet.
Hudson School District sends you information out
Yeah.
about what's going on. I don't know how often it comes out, but it comes to the house.
Yeah, some of
There's
that.
that, yeah.
Seems
Well, this- Will the school, if those schools close and more kids are going to North Hudson, well, it popped into my head, that's where a safety issue will come into play on the streets and the sidewalks, and so I don't know if, well, we don't need to do it right now, but eventually that might come into play where some of that school district, working with the district on safety factor, because there's just gonna be more buses on the streets and
Well,
more
and
cars
more-
on the
more
streets,
cars,
and
yeah. 'cause
Cars,
they're gonna
yeah,
take-
yeah. The buses will
busing
be-
in from Holton
Yeah.
district, because they don't
Yeah.
want their kids on the bus that long.
Yeah.
That meeting's
So that's
tonight
gonna
also.
become a big issue, I would think.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
And that is government, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
connectivity, because the Hudson School District is setting that requirement, that
Yeah.
direction.
So I think what I'm hearing is that we'll continue to and build up and revisit our relationships with all of these, right? The school district,
Right, yep,
this
yep,
historical
yep, yep.
society, the county, the city.
Yep. Yeah, we're not standing up on any of these things here, Gina, so you can
Okay,
basically
yep.
kind of consolidate this, put in a nice paragraph, and then,
And this is the exists, so maybe it's update. I already have an emergency plan.
Where's your communication?
Went off last night.
You do have one, though. Yeah, it's pretty detailed. I've seen it.
Okay. This is the big one.
Yep. That's the last one.
I think so.
Yep.
Yep.
So when we were talking to Paul from a legal counsel, we can leave this as broad as we want to. So we, like we had talked about in the zoning, we can say that the land use should be consistent with the needs of the community at that time, right? So,
Yeah, I read that a couple of times and a couple of other ones. I know, Bill, we were kinda asking Paul some about this, and I agree, keep it, generalize it.
Yeah, for instance, rezone closed landfill, we don't even own it.
no.
No,
Yeah.
right.
It's part of the city of Hudson. If it ever came available in their discussions, I would hope we get a courtesy for an opportunity, but
Yeah, I mean, you look at number 4 there, that's all in zoning, that, and already existing laws.
I think use the land use plan, which you should probably make sure is updated as a guide for decision-making, okay, yeah.
We can't do nothing with number 2. We can't do nothing with number 3.
I don't even know what preserved neighborhoods means.
Pardon?
I don't even know what that means. Preserved neighborhoods.
I think if anything in these areas for growth, it should be that we're open-minded to zoning classifications, changes that meet future needs.
And blend better with neighborhoods.
So like you said, when we, in the very first one we did, when we talked about that, right? To have it
Yeah.
evolve with the dynamics of the community.
It's avoid land use conflicts may decrease the value. Well, I mean, once again, if you aren't flexible with zoning, classifications, you could have those kind of situations where you're not thinking about adjoining properties or.
So, I don't wanna state this, but any time a developer comes to us, and I'm just saying in general, there's a process in place, right? I mean, they have to submit all the paperwork, they have to come in front of the planning commission. Planning commission challenges them to go back. They have to follow any other type of guidelines that the DNR might have, whatever, it's all in place. I guess my question is, I don't understand why you want to defer from that. I mean, why don't want to, your comprehensive plan should just state that.
Yeah, that you're following the designated policies and
Establish a
procedures.
process in place. And it's been like that for so many years. I mean, why do you want to call out, you can't do this, you can't do that? It's there.
Yeah.
We have steps that are challenging that along the way. And then ultimately, it goes in front of the village board, and they have to approve it. But there are checks and balances throughout that whole state. So,
The plans that have to get submitted to the building inspector, right? They have
yeah,
to be
you start with the building
state-approved
inspector, he starts
plans
with
that
it,
the
yeah.
building inspector reviews.
That's true. I think, once a property is rezoned, I think people feel that that is just a green light
No, yeah, I know, right.
for the whole rest of the process.
Exactly, Ken, I agree totally with you.
Step one.
That's step one.
It was correct.
But
But
there's-
then, once it's been rezoned, also the green light is a concern, but then the concern is, okay, well, the plan has been brought in front of the committee. It's already been rezoned. Is the committee actually going to say, well, you can't do that there? I mean, we sort of rezoned it for you, and now we're saying we don't like your plan. Do you know what I mean? Like, it sort of just seems like it's all gonna fall into place, even though it might not. It just seems like it is just going to fall into place.
Well, I think it would. I think we're gonna challenge everything along the way, and so is the building inspector, and so is any type of
So,
controls, regulations they have to follow.
right.
We just took, I mean, I hate to keep bringing up the past, what we just did, but the point there is, I think that's all in place. And why shouldn't our comprehensive plan should call that out when it comes to certain things with land use, you know? But I don't know where would you put it? I mean,
Is it ensuring the orderly growth by following our processes and procedures that are in place? And do we need to maybe do a better job educating?
By state and local ordinances, right? I mean, you guys found that out to build this building right behind us.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, God,
First you had to rezone the land, right?
well, you're not,
Yeah,
and
they-
now you don't even know what I'm going through with the state of Wisconsin to get it passed.
Yeah, you got parking you have to deal with,
Parking, they have to do a soil test.
yeah.
It's gonna cost me $2,000 just to do a soil test here. And
Yeah.
it's been established how long it's been here. Seriously.
I believe you.
Archaeological dig?
All of that, pardon me?
You probably have to do an archaeological dig.
All of that.
Yep.
And the local bill inspector says, you don't come through me, you go through the state of Wisconsin. I got an RFP out there right now asking for the best bid to go do all of those things. That's all in place, because it's a community center,
Yeah,
you know? So I had to come to you guys first just to rezone it.
right. And it's something the community wants.
Yeah,
Doesn't
And it's
matter.
still-
And
yeah,
needs,
But there's
yeah.
still, the rules that gotta be followed.
Yes, yes.
So it's a good example of these land placements and titles
Exactly,
that we
Bill.
call them for
Yep.
zoning classifications are
Yep.
just,
And I'm coming back here, and we're not gonna build something that's gonna be fire red, Pepperfest red and all that stuff. No, it's gonna align with this building and everything, and you guys are hopefully gonna approve that. The aesthetics are gonna be like this. It's gonna look like a house. It's gonna look like, it's gonna look
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
But it's all in place. Everything is reviewed along those steps.
So is it that rather than dictate each property, specifically what people would like to see done, it's on a case-by-case basis, is what
Yeah,
you're
and
saying?
it
Like,
can't- yeah, Kat,
if you
and I-
can't say keep that conservancy when maybe
Right.
10 years from now, it might be a great piece of property for something else. So
Right.
you just want,
I just don't know
follow
how
the
to state it.
guidelines and it falls where it may.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I just don't know how to state it. It's basically saying that, you know,
right.
the village has an established program in place to make sure anything that's developed or reviewed or changed,
Right.
whatever, it's all there. And we're following, I'm following, my instance, I'm not just following local, I'm following state.
I think
And
we
that's gonna
could
be the
leave
same
just
thing.
LG1 in place and the rest can go.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, and I think that goes back to one of the statements that Paul stated, you don't pigeonhole yourself, keep it
Don't
general.
overcomplicate it, yeah.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Well, keep it general, but you don't want to be vague either, because then there's lots of gray area.
Well, then you have a whole section though.
And
and it's
interpretation, but-
Within your land use category here that you could call more out,
Right.
you know, in the program itself. Yep.
So back to Randall's motion. If we are able to address these items, make it more paragraph form in the associated chapter, are we at a point where we would be willing to make a recommendation to the board?
I think so.
And recognize that if the board has questions, they can send it back to us. So,
Yeah, if they want further clarification, which I'm sure they would.
Yeah. So then,
Going back to your earlier statement though, to add to this, you're talking about how we made modifications to this implementation. Those help support the goals back to the very beginning.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So then, would it make sense to, if you guys are ready, I can make all the updates and provide a copy back to everybody. And then at some point, you guys are gonna need, I'm sorry, I'm looking for it as we're going, are going to need a resolution to say, we're sending this up. We could have that resolution ready for your October meeting, where all you do is say, we've reviewed the changes that were made out of this session, everything looks good, sign the resolution, and let's send it up.
Good.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Then we get to see it, so, yeah.
Immediately, yes.
Yeah,
So then on your next agenda, we'll just add approved resolution for comp plan.
right from the very beginning, first thing on the agenda.
And
That
there's no
works.
discussion, it's just, unless you have questions about a change I made, based on my interpretation of the direction tonight.
It'll be a lot more clear and concise, I think, if we do it that way.
I totally agree, and it gives us all opportunity to review it one more final time, and then
Yeah, so when is that? What's the date of that?
It's like October 17th.
17. So, I would just move that we table the motion. I put forward, we have a motion on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we table the motion until the meeting on the 17th.
do we have a second?
That's on a Friday?
No, Wednesday.
should be Wednesday.
October,
Oh, I'm sorry. October what?
oh,
17th.
it's like the third Wednesday in October,
Yeah,
15th.
15th,
there it is. Yep.
okay? Does anyone want to second Randall's motion
I'll
to
second.
table?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. Yep. Any other discussions on that? I like that, because then basically we've updated it, revised it, we'll get it in front of us, we can look at it. We make our motion that way to
Yep.
approve it, and we're done.
You guys
All in favor
rock.
of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay, good. Gina?
Got my marching orders.
Thank you, Gina.
Yeah. sorry for keeping
All right.
you so late.
Do need
Last
to
on the
close out the
agenda is
meeting.
basically routine business, no other routine
Hey, what
business.
did they, explain to me what
Number
they're
6 is
doing-
to adjourn.
Going to do with
Make a motion to adjourn.
like, that
I'll
one
second.
little-
All in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.